Welcome to the behind the scenes of my newest video. I built a rooftop garden in Seoul. If you're new here, I'm Ryan. I'm a video creator and ideas guy here in Seoul, South Korea. And welcome to my rooftop garden. Let's break down the search. So the first section, I kind of wanted it very dull gray. Bus stations, gray buildings. I did this to make a slow buildup and emphasize all of the main stuff, all the green later in the video. The day I went to the exhibition, I knew once I saw his artwork that it was going to be like the perfect intro and gonna set the tone for the rest of the video. I said it is green, it is flowers, but it's a very, like mechanical and industrial feeling to his artwork. If you guys wanna go check out his art, highly recommend it. He's one of my favorite artists in Seoul. His Instagram tag is here. This place was really, really cool. I highly recommend going to Seoul Botanical Gardens if you're ever in Korea. This being another place I had actually never been before. I had no idea in mind exactly what shots I needed. Again, it was just kind of walking around, figuring it all out.
If I was a gajillionaire, I would spend all my money on things like this, I think. Perusing my Victorian International Garden with fun friends, fine ladies. But for now, I have like 3 houseplants and I'm pretty happy with that, so what are you gonna do? It's crazy to think we're on the skyline right now. And all of these trees, we saw from the bottom, they're like 2-3 stories tall, all the way up to the ridge of the skyline. Completely different perspective of everywhere up here.
Again, very loose-ended. I didn't really have anything planned for this. It was more just kind of a feeling, and I was just trying to film as much as I could to safely say that I walked away from it with enough, which I did. This section of the video I was probably the most stressed about because it was either gonna go great or horribly wrong. Since I'd actually never been to Yangjae, I couldn't plan out too much of what I had in mind, but I figured same process, just go and start filming, see what would happen. We started out like super low key, just filming hallways and being as respectful as possible. And nobody seemed to care really. I mean, a few ajumas, a few grannies were kind of confused at what we were doing, but at the end I think people were kind of entertained by it. On this day I did actually plan to buy plants and flowers for the rest of this video. So there was a few things I was keeping in mind, like the colors of the plants, how big they were to fit on the balcony. There was only one shot that I actually came there planning to do, but I had no idea how I was going to pull it off. But this one I knew that I wanted to be right smack dab in the middle of one of the flower vendors, which meant convincing Ajuma somehow to let us use her flower market for like 10 to 15 minutes, stepping in and out of all these flowers, praying I don't just trip and fall. I'm trying to set up my dolly slider. I think this was the most stressed out in the entire video I had been, because the shot meant so much to me and I wanted to be just perfect. It's always the most rewarding shots I feel like are the ones I have no idea are gonna work for many, many factors. So once I got that shot, I treated myself to buying some tomato plants as a short little victory. I think without the video, making the garden maybe would have taken me a week, but this far into the process, it almost been like, I think 3 or 4 weeks, and I was just so eager to actually start planting stuff and actually getting to bring life to this rooftop. Since I knew I had to take care of all these plants later, actually when the filming was done, I didn't go overboard with buying. I wanted to fill up this place like a mini jungle, but instead of what I did was really carefully think about the composition of where the plants would be to make it seem like this garden was a lot bigger than it actually is. And maybe my favorite scene to film in this chapter was the alligators. I'm not really entirely sure how I came up with the idea to put these in the garden, but once I started filming them and getting all the close-up shots and everything, I was just laughing the entire time. I thought it was so funny. Gonna put you back, Mr. Alligator. I really wanted to get this chapter done all within 1 or 2 days of filming, but since I was getting up really early in the morning, about 5 a.m. to have as much even lighting as possible, it meant that I really had to slow down and wait day to day to get the rest of this chapter done. But that was actually okay because it meant that I would film for maybe 2 or 3 hours in the morning, go inside, plug my SD card right into my computer, check to make sure the whole timeline was good and that there was nothing missing. It's all kind of the patience process that I'm really bad at sometimes. When I have a good idea, I just want to go out and film it right then and there. But just like gardening, these things take time. Besides the video, the main motive of this entire garden rooftop space was to be able to host friends, date nights, dinners, something that I really missed back home in California. So I wanted to bring that little slice of life back home, right here back to Seoul. This was the first time I actually tried to do a dinner style scene. I really wanted to, I'd say, set the mood. Instead of just having the blank green table, I went to Daiso, I got a dinner cloth and just kind of grabbed whatever I could find off the shelf that kind of would fit. And once we actually sat down, had everything set up, did all the lighting, etc. Yeah, we had about 5 or 6 minutes of this just really, really nice blue hour right before everything got dark. And once I put that into the final edit and did the color correction, my mind just went because that blue was just so rich. I was not expecting that at all. The rest of the night, I just set up the camera and we talked back and forth, didn't pay too much of attention to it. I kind of wanted it to be a very natural feel as much as I could, so we just set it up, forgot about it. The idea that I had set up this entire space, it didn't even really hit me until like right at the end of the dinner scene. Knowing that once this project was over, I was gonna have all this to enjoy. Right as spring and summer are coming right now, the weather is just absolutely beautiful outside. It's the perfect time to sit and hang out and enjoy this kind of space. And in that moment, I felt a really good personal sense of accomplishment for myself, for the video and just how much I had done for this garden rooftop. So yeah, this has been behind the scenes of my newest video. I built a rooftop garden in Seoul. If you guys haven't already seen it, make sure you go check it out. Plants are growing and I'm discovering new things every day. All I have to remember now is just to water these plants.